So, what would a sex therapist have to say about Jesus' teaching around sexuality? In particular, the story of the woman caught in adultery. And what's even more important is what would a sex therapist, how would they approach what we say on Sunday mornings to the people who sit and listen to us? And how would that communicate to a broader community around us? We explore that on a twin episode, a continuation of the episode we did on finding traction. Welcome aboard. Okay, well, I just want to say, Monica, I'd love to. You were on a podcast called with Dominic Steele, I think it was, called "The Pastor's Heart," and
Yes.
you had this amazing take, and I'd love to hear just a little bit of your take on Jesus being presented with the woman in adultery, and because I think it's something every one of us pastors need to hear, because we sometimes get our orders all mixed around. So
Yeah.
when you read that passage from a sex therapist, how does it
Yeah.
stand out to you?
Yeah, sure. So the passage is the John chapter 8, verses
Mhm.
1 to 11. And I think that, the order that you were saying we often get kind of caught up in is we sort of tell a person what they should do first.
Right.
And, often that's not really the space that they're coming to you in. They're coming from a different place, and
Right.
the telling part is actually right at the very end, which is what we see in Jesus's order of things when
But
he deals
we're pastors.
Yeah.
We're wired to tell people things.
Totally. And Jesus was the ultimate pastor, right?
Right.
And
Oh, that's true.
he holds space for people to show up as a first step, like to show up authentically and to know that they're accepted as they are. And I think that, the first step is being aware of your own journey and sin in this space as well. So he actually says to her, he actually asks people, doesn't he? He says, who here is without sin? So, there's this kind of idea of, before you actually throw the first stone,
Right.
go and examine your own heart, because it's not actually just about, it's very easy to see the sin in other people, but where are you in this
Right.
space, and how can you actually bring a level of compassion to the mix for this person, knowing that you are equally in sin as this person in front of you. It may look different, it may manifest differently, but in God's eyes, we're kind of at the same level.
I heard something recently that was something that we all have a degree of sexual brokenness, whether or not we have acted out in act A or B or C. You're saying, in one sense, all of us experience brokenness at some level, right? So,
Right.
and if I'm a pastor or listening to somebody, that posture affects the entire conversation, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I always say to people, even if you're in a teaching space,
Right.
like you were saying, pastors kind of like to teach, they like to tell. It's always about the orientation of the heart in the teaching. Does it come from a one-up, looking
Mhm.
down at
Right.
at your congregation? Does it, or does it come from a place of equality? Like, we are all in this together,
Right.
and we're all condemned, and we're all given grace to be God's children, and all kind of, because that's how the body operates,
Right.
God's body is,
Sure.
there's not some bits that are better than others. We're all functioning, we've all been given gifts, and we're all equal before
Right.
God. And that's the beauty of the gospel message, actually,
Right.
is it's for all. And so, yeah, and I think that's Jesus's next message, isn't it? Is it's like, nor do I condemn you. So
Right.
yes, you're sinful. Yes, we recognize that what you've done is not right, in God's eyes, but I don't condemn you, because I've died for you. Basically, I will die for you.
Right. Yep.
So there's no condemnation if you're trusting in me. And then after there's that transformative kind of experience of relationship that woman experiences with Jesus, then his final message is, go and sin no more. So in the context of this new being that she has, in the context of this new relationship she has with God,
Right.
that's free from condemnation and connected to him, she is given the strength and the ability to then go and choose a different life for herself.
Right.
Not because of anything that she is, or because of the strength that she has, or because of her background, her experience, because through Christ, that kind of transformation is possible through that relationship of ultimate belonging, ultimate sort of acceptance, and all those things that we actually get in having a relationship with the God of this world. It's just amazing. And I see that in my clients as well, of the healing of really getting those messages into themselves, of being like, I am loved, I am worthy, I am a child of God, I am seen, I am heard, I am, despite my failings, I'm accepted. And it's nothing that I'm doing, it's all because of what Jesus has done, that I can say those things, and therefore I can choose something else for myself, because I have God behind me and the Holy Spirit within me.
Sure. And then I can go out and begin to walk out this new life that I have. So, and my guess would be, if there was a thing you would want to say to the church, because you get people coming in from the church, or you could say something to pastors, it would be something along those lines of, in what we say Sunday morning, if what we say in our counseling center, like, would you say that that's a huge need still in the church, as you hear some of the messages around sexuality that's not coming through?
Yeah, for sure. I would say the other thing I really have this real heart for as well is, I feel like when churches talk about sexuality, it always seems to create an us and them. It's like the world out there and us as Christians. And it's not helpful, because it polarizes and it doesn't welcome people into the church. It almost creates this sort of dichotomy between, if you're sexual, you're out there in the world, and if you're sort of holy, you're over here. And, I want people, as people talk about sexuality, I want them to be thinking about, how can this be an inviting conversation, a conversation that doesn't create a church as a one-up kind of Pharisaical kind of institution, but one that is seeking to reach out into the community and be something beautiful and inviting for those that are hurting, to come into that place and find healing from their sexual.
What a challenge you've given to anybody who's looking at engaging in their communities, to say, is your approach to sexuality something that is so inviting and winsome and beautiful that even people outside of faith would want to come or want to interact with you because of that? And I think most of us would instinctively go, well, I got a lot of work to do, probably inside me, and how I'm approaching this. For sure. Monica, thank you. I love the way you put it. That is so helpful. So again, thank you for coming on. This one is part of Pastors on Porn, but I encourage other people to go back and listen to the rest of the interview on Finding Traction. So thanks again. And I know you're just in Australia getting ready for your winter time. We have been through a long, wet winter here in the Pacific Northwest. And so we are desperately looking forward to spring and summer. So
enjoy that.
Good things are coming. So thank you again. And God bless you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.